We talked about the dealer. We said he has to be an owner or he has to be authorized, right? The owner or authorized. Authorized could be what? Could be a parent. Like your child has money and you don't have to ask your child for permission to deal with this money for the sake of the child. It's not your money. But for example, you're going to hold it and maybe he's going to try to spend it and you don't accept and you want to follow a Shafi'i that he cannot deal until he's pubescent, or even according to Ahmed, he can't deal without permission until he's pubescent, then he can deal without a restriction unless he's restricted. So you took his money and you put it in the savings for him. You are dealing with this money. You are controlling it. You're authorized here. You're the guardian. Any parent or guardian. Your child has some land, for example, and you need to take care of it. You need to take care of it. It's not your money though. So with the child's money, you're going to hire some gardeners to make sure the grass stays trimmed, the bushes stay trimmed like this. If there's fruits, they're going to get plucked, for example. You're going to take care of it. You are an authorized person here. Or you might be a judge. And so you have certain power to transact on behalf of that person. Or who's this authorized one might just be your authorized person. Let's just call him here a proxy. Proxy here means working on your behalf. He might be your attorney or some power of attorney of some one capacity or another. So then what if you find something on the ground? Can you just sell it? No. You're neither an owner nor an authorized person. Also, you can't be restricted. We didn't mention that one. Well, a little bit we did. Can't be restricted. Who's restricted? Like prepubescent child. Prepubescent child is restricted. Can't be crazy. Insane person is restricted. And some other cases of being restricted without going into details. Now we just want to really, like we have been doing, review the obligatory knowledge on a basic level so that we can be functional Muslims. And once we comprehend this basic information, then when we need more information, then we would, inshallah, have the sense to ask. We would know that we even need to ask. Sometimes a person doesn't even know he needs to ask. When a person is like that, it's probably because he's far from the knowledge. Well, maybe he's not far from the knowledge, but there's something he doesn't comprehend. For example, what if someone grew up in a society where people do copyright normally, usually, regularly? Copyright, though religiously, is invalid. But if a person didn't hear that it's invalid and he doesn't have enough knowledge to make him understand that it's invalid, then he might think that it's valid. And then he would be a Muslim, even if he learned how to pray, how to make wudu, learned the right aqidah, he learned how to recite al-Fatiha, for example. But he didn't know that he should ask. It didn't cross his mind that he should ask. Yani, he, for example, is a writer or an inventor. And so he says, I'm going to copyright my work. Doesn't cross his mind that copyright is invalid. He should at least cross his mind to say, let me ask, what is the judgment of copyright? And not to presume that it's valid just because all the people do it. Why it's not valid since I went there? Because copyright implies that you own something that you sold. How you gonna? It's a scam, Yani. Copyright is a scam. The goal of this scam is to keep control of something that you sold. Yani, to sell something and still own it after selling it. So that is invalid. But it's not an absolute ownership according to them. Rather, according to them, what is it that you own? You have, they say, intellectual property. What's that? In reality, that's nothing. It's nothing but an idea. You cannot own an idea. So, because some people are greedy, that's the source of this fallacy here, this scam. They said, let us legalize ownership of an idea. And then when you have an idea, nobody can copy your idea unless they pay you. So someone might say, why that doesn't work? I'm going to say, well, how could it work? They're going to say, well, it's easy. What you mean how it could work? All you have to do is go to like City Hall or something, or wherever they do the registry for copyright, and submit your registration, do the paperwork and submit your registration. That's it. What's the problem here? Problem here is that besides the fact that it's not valid to retain ownership of something that you sell, think about what it means to be able to do a deal and who needs to be involved in the deal. And we are talking about the dealer right now. Who needs to be involved in a deal? So you have a seller and a buyer. Did we ever say also government department that keeps a registry? Do we say that's a condition for any kind of deal? We never said that. The implication here is that if there were no government, you wouldn't be able to do anything called copyright. But if there were no government, would you be able to sell? Yes. Would you be able to rent? Yes. Would you be able to marry? Yes. You don't need a government department for any of that. Meaning, if you were just a Muslim living on the land, for example, and then you came across some people and you had something that's worth something, and they had other stuff that's worth something, and you wanted what they had and they wanted what you had, and there's no government, and then you agreed to exchange, and of course all the religious conditions are fulfilled, then this sale is valid. Doesn't require any government oversight or anything like that, a registry, etc. Same thing for marriage. What if you were living on the land and there's no government, and then you came across some people and there was a woman there? Yeah, I mean, when I say you means, let's say it was a man, or even if it was a woman. She lives on the land somewhere. Then, but I'll just say a man. He's living on the land, and then he came across some people, and amongst them there was a woman. And then they liked each other, and then they did a marriage contract. So as long as the marriage contract is valid, it doesn't require any government oversight or anything like that. And like that are other deals. None of the deals require some government department or oversight. None of these deals require a functioning government. That's how nice Islam is. Islam is complete and perfect. Even without a functioning government, we're still able to function as Muslims. They say, for example, in some places they want to outlaw Sharia law. If they have Muslims there, the Muslims are still practicing Sharia law. They're still eating halal meat, inshallah. They're avoiding the haram, avoiding the riba, maybe still getting more than one wife, etc. They are practicing Sharia law. So that's nothing. You cannot own an idea, and you cannot stop a person from copying your idea like you're building something. Your neighbor came and said, "Hi, neighbor, what's that there? Oh, that's nifty. That's a great idea. I can do that." So can you say, "No, I don't accept"? No, you have nothing here. You have no right to stop him from copying your idea. Or you sell a book. It's not yours anymore on any level, not even the idea. Nothing about it is yours anymore once you sell it. I'm talking about each unit. Let's say you published a book, you have copies of your own book, and you sell your book. The ones that you haven't sold yet, they belong to you, and anything that you sold doesn't belong to you anymore. Nothing about it belongs to you anymore. And whoever purchased it, now he owns it. And religiously, he can copy it all day and then sell it too and not share any of the profits with you. He doesn't have to ask you. Okay. So this dealer has to be an owner, as we said, or he has to be authorized, as we said. He can't be restricted like a prepubescent person or a crazy person. We talked about that a little, and it goes further, but I don't want to go very far. The chapter of restriction in deals, it covers a lot of things. Some things you're familiar with. For example, this is outside of sales, but it's still a case of restriction. What I want to tell you now: can a woman give herself away in marriage? No. So that's a case of being restricted, although that's a marriage and not a sale. And we talked about the subject of the deal. Subject of the deal being the item and the price. We talked about some of its conditions, like that it's owned, has to be owned by someone, even. If it's something that is not owned by anyone at all, there's no way to sell it. Can you sell the ocean? No. When I say anyone, I mean any creation. Allah owns everything. My context is valid for me to say not owned by anyone here. We're talking about amongst the creations. It needs to be something owned in the first place. And then if it is owned, then who can sell it? The owner or an authorized one. And needs to be pure. Like we said, can't be filthy. So not urine or feces or a dog or wine. Last time I said or alcohol, and I should have been a little more exact. There's some kinds of alcohol. Yani, I don't know a lot about alcohol, but let me just tell you a little bit. So, alcohol, fundamentally, or let me say, the one that we must avoid is the alcohol that's basically made from, yani, like made from a fruit. Doesn't even have to be made from a plant because it could be from honey also. Yani, it's the one that's made from fruit or made from a vegetable like corn. So fruit like grapes or vegetable like corn, or it could be made from honey, mixing the honey with water. It can turn intoxicating. And this type of alcohol that's haram, it's najis, not pure. So, not pure. It is the alcohol that they call uh, ether, or they call it ethanol, or they have other names for it too. Now, there's a list that's been floating around about different types of alcohols for many years. And this list, mashallah, I remember, I know who did the list, Yani. Many years ago, like over 10 years ago, over 15 years ago, I think that list spread all over the world. Subhanallah. But when I asked some of the mashayikh about the information on that list, they could not, at the time when I asked, they could not verify everything there, whether it's najis or it's not najis. Yani, someone went through the trouble to find all the different names they use for alcohol. Like you might see in some packaging something they call SD alcohol. So it is said that SD alcohol means small dose and that it is ethanol. So I cannot verify that. I don't really know, but that's what is said. And they have all sorts of names. You need to understand, though, this word alcohol is a chemical name. This is a chemical name, and it's not the same as the word wine. In Arabic, what we are talking about avoiding is called khamr. Khamr, meaning even that stuff that's in the bottle, you go to the store, you can get it for a cut. When you put it on your cut, it burns. That's khamr. But if you drink, it's going to kill you. It's still khamr. And really, khamr is poisonous. That's what they say. If you get too much in your blood, you might die. But that stuff that's in the, yani, you can buy in the market or get in the market for the wounds and the like, If it's ether or ethanol, it's khamr. So people are confused here about the word alcohol. It is, first of all, a chemical name. It's not equivalent to the word wine. The English word alcohol is not equivalent to the Arabic word khamr, nor the word wine. Rather, they would say wine is alcohol, but there's other types of alcohol too, because really, alcohol is a chemical name, covers more than one thing. And not all of it is najasa. So the kind of alcohol that we learned is not haram and it's not najas, is the isopropyl, I think spelled like that, isopropyl alcohol. This one, if I'm not mistaken, is made from petroleum, not from a fruit or vegetable or honey. And I found that seems whenever I have seen a doctor or the like, or some quote unquote healthcare professional, uh, they always used isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol. I will ask them, what kind of alcohol is that? They will say it's isopropyl. So what you sell or buy, the item, the subject needs to be pure, not najas. So not a dog, not khamr, not feces, not blood. Oh, there's an updated one, that list. Oh, mashallah. Also, there's something we didn't mention, needs to be deliverable. Needs to be deliverable. You cannot sell what is undeliverable. Why would it not be deliverable? Maybe because it ran away. Your horse ran away. So how are you going to sell him? Still yours, but you can't sell him now because you can't deliver it. Or someone took your house and you can't get it back. It's still yours, but you can't sell it because you cannot make it accessible to the buyer unless the buyer can take it without an expense, without a great expense, without a great expense. If the buyer can take it without a great expense, then you can sell it to him. We said needs to be known. We covered that. We said needs to be existing. We covered that. We said needs to be seen if it's a specific item, or if not seen, well described. Yani exactly. Well is not good enough. Exactly described. If you are ordering something, not the thing, a thing. If you are ordering a thing among other things, so you're not determining exactly which exact unit you want, rather anything that's like this is what you want to buy. Yani, someone sells computers, someone sells cars, someone sells what? Bikes, etc. Then, if you are buying one of them without it being present, and it is exactly described to you, then you can pay for it before seeing it. And then it's going to be delivered to you. And then you'll see it upon delivery. And you must pay for it in this case because it's going to get delivered to you. And a delivery, keep this in mind. A delivery, yani, a pending delivery, something you're waiting to be delivered. A pending delivery is what? It's a debt. It's something you are owed. Pending delivery is a debt. Someone owes you, and it's going to get delivered to you. So you're going to have to pay him now since he's going to deliver it to you later, because if you don't pay him now, what does that mean? It means you're going to owe him. And owing him means what? You have a debt. And You cannot sell a debt for a debt. Anytime your deal means a debt for a debt, then you cannot do it. Yeah, and paying later means you owe. Delivering later means he owes. So remember this. Do not pay for a delivery later. It's not going to be valid. If something's going to get delivered to you, then either wait for it to get delivered to you and pay for it right there. Yani, tell him you called. Say, yeah, I want to order such and such food. Yes, you can deliver it to such and such place. Okay. I'll see you when you get here and I'll pay you then. That's fine. That's completely valid. Uh, okay. So what that basically means is, and what I just told you is fine. What that means is you didn't do the sale yet. You called them, you ordered what you want from them. You did not do a sale. You only put in an order. Putting in an order is not haram. You can put the order in. And then when they say to you, okay, we want you to pay now, that's one thing. You're going to pay now if it's going to get delivered. You have to pay now if it's going to get delivered, unless you agree that basically it's not binding until he comes to you with the delivery, meaning you didn't really buy anything yet. You just told him what you want and where to bring it. So he told you, okay, I'll prepare what you want and bring it to you. When I get there, then we'll do the sale. So that's fine. But if the sale is, I want to buy from you such and such, and they say to you, okay, we accept to sell it to you. And you say, okay, you deliver it to me. And they say, we will deliver to you what we are now selling to you right now. It's going to cost such and such. And you say, I accept. And it means now our deal is conducted. And then you don't pay for it. Then upfront, Yani, then that's not valid because it's going to be a debt for a debt. So you pay him now. Now only one of you owes the other. Don't be in a situation where both of you are owing each other at the same time. That's what you want to always avoid. Either the ownership exchanges on the spot, or one of you pays up front and the other one delivers later. And avoid both of you are delivering later. Both of you are paying later. You're both agreeing now and concluding your deal now and both paying later. This is invalid. Okay. Also, we said that this item has to be useful, yani beneficial, religiously beneficial. So not like burnt bread, not like wind and string instruments, not like roaches and snakes and mice. Those are not religiously beneficial. And someone might say, what? I can't buy roaches? Tell him, no, you can't buy roaches, bro. What you going to do with them? He says, well, I have a pet scorpion. So you telling me I can't buy roaches for my pet scorpion? So we're going to say to him, having a pet scorpion is not a religiously recognized benefit. Buying roaches for your pet scorpion is not a religiously recognized benefit. What you going to do with roaches? Why don't you stop having a pet scorpion and concentrate on something more beneficial? What are some of the uses that make something sellable? I'll remind you, we did mention some of the uses that make something sellable is like it's edible. You can eat it, or uh, you can carry loads with it, or You can ride it, or you can fight with it, or uh, you can enjoy looking at it like a peacock. You can buy a peacock because you enjoy looking at it for that goal. Or like a vase, you put plants in there, or maybe you don't even put the plant in there. Maybe you just like how it looks and you want to get it and put it in your house, in the corner or on the window, for example. And it's decorative. Or, for example, it's a toy, or catches mice, or you can use it for security, guarding. Not a dog, though, because a dog is najasa. But an ape, subhanAllah, can you imagine someone broke into a place that has a guard ape? Subhanallah wa bihamdi. That's probably worse than seeing a guard dog. But don't forget, beware of the apes. Yeah, it would be so scary. Beware of the apes because they would kill a man, a male human. They would kill a male human, and they would force themselves upon a female human. But you can train them to great extent. Yeah, you can train them to do many things. The apes. They don't have minds, though. They can't think. We're not going to call them intelligent with the meaning that they have minds. We don't say apes are intelligent, dogs are intelligent, or dolphins are intelligent with the meaning that they have minds, or that crows are intelligent, not with the meaning that they have minds. They don't have minds. But some of them, they have capacity for training and yani, being trained to do different tasks. It's going to be by repetition here. It's not because they have some high intellectual power. Rather, it's just you can train them. Okay. And also hunting. So those are amongst the useful, those are amongst the benefits that make something sellable. Uh-huh. Now, there were two things I wanted to cover with you today. None of it is anything that I said so far. I just wanted to recap. But now I'm only going to mention one thing, and then next time, inshallah, we'll mention the other thing, which is this thing here is related to the subject of the deal, which is receiving your merchandise or whatever it is that you purchased. First of all, is it a condition to own it that you received it? No, it's not a condition to own it that you received it. For example, someone has a car. You've seen the car. So it's already seen, the specific one. You've seen it last week, for example, or some time ago. And now you are with that person, not in the presence of the car. And you buy that car from him. You tell him, I now buy your car, that particular car that I have seen for such and such. And he says, I accept. Now, do you have to give him the money right now? No. But you owe him money. And does he still own the car that he didn't give you yet? No. It's your car now, just by the words. There's the benefit of those words there. So according to that, look, we got a benefit here about the wording, the contract. We said, some scholars said you don't need words for a contract, but It just now became clear that if you take that saying, the saying that you don't need words for a sale, then how would you be able to own the uh thing without the words? Without also taking it. You didn't say any words and you didn't take it. How would you do a sale without saying any words and without taking? You're going to need words. If you're not going to take, you're going to need words. It also just means someone put money in your hand and didn't say anything. So then you're going to say, what's this money for? So what's it going to do? Stare at you really hard in your eyes. No, that's not good enough. So he has to speak. So it became clear that if you do have words in your sale or your deal, it would be possible to gain ownership of something without taking it. Because going to be the mere words that make it yours. When you say, I buy that particular thing from you for such and such, and he says, I accept, that's it. Even if you didn't hand the money over to him and he didn't hand over to you the thing. Okay. So in the example I gave you, the car became yours, even without taking it. Now, but what about what you owe him? What about what you owe him? What exactly became his? It depends on how you word it. So if you say, for example, I buy this for $20, for example, then whatever he sold to you becomes yours, even if you don't take it. And if you just said for $20, like this, for example, then any $20 will fulfill your obligation because you didn't specify the 20. But if you said, I buy this from you for this $20, then that's the one you owe him exactly, not another one. Even if you didn't give it to him yet. Still, taking it is not the condition for the sale to be valid. But now that $20 belongs to him, even if you kept it in your pocket. And if it's a specific thing, you don't even have to say more than this. Like it's this 20, but you just said, I buy that from you for this. And it's a $20 in your hand. And he sees it. So he sees it. And when you say this means this particular one, so now he's getting a particular thing that he saw, that's valid. Now you owe him that one. You can't give him a different one. I think that's clear for you, inshallah ta'ala. If you have a question, go ahead. Now, okay, so you become owner of this subject of the deal, even without taking it. We're talking about specific things here, not talking about delivery of a described thing. Not talking about delivery of a described thing. It's not yours, that described thing that will be delivered. It's not yours yet because it's not a particular one. And if he lost it on his way to delivering it to you, for example, he can just go back and get another one like it, and it will still be valid because you didn't do the sale on a particular one. Once it gets delivered to you and then you see it and it fulfills the conditions of the that you agreed to, fulfills the descriptions of what you agreed to, then you own it. If it's defective, then you can cancel the sale if you don't want to accept the defect. So this thing is yours now. So here's the question. It's yours. That means what? Means you are an owner. You are an owner. Can the owner sell what he owns? Yeah, as long as he's not restricted. As long as he's not restricted, he can't be restricted. Is there any restriction here? There is possibly a restriction here, which is what? Yes, you do own this thing that you didn't take yet, but you can't sell it yet until you take it. When you take it, then your restriction for selling it is lifted. You don't have to take it to own it, but you do have to take it after owning it to sell it. Or your proxy, your authorized person can take it also. Or your authorized person can take it. It will be like you took it. So you say to him, Barakallahu go down to the dock and pick up this shipment for me. So once he picks it up, it's received. Now you can sell it. You can sell it even if you didn't get it because your proxy got it. When your proxy got it, it was like you got it. Now you can sell it. So what's this deal that people talk about? I get a question about it every now and then. I think it's called drop shipping. When I was first asked about this, then I asked, what is it? And every time I was asked about it, I asked, what is it to be sure until I kept getting the same answer. So, because I never researched it. So apparently it is for someone to own something and then sell it before receiving it. Exactly. And that's assuming the sale was valid for him to own it in the first place. Assuming the sale was valid for him to own it in the first place, then to just immediately sell it before receiving it, that's invalid. Hopefully, he didn't get it sold to him by someone who never received it. But if you don't know, then you don't have to ask. So, none of this drop shipping here. Unless I'm mistaken about something. If so, you can let me know. So then, how do you receive your merchandise? There's three things, three details. One, take it by hand. Yani, take it. Take hold of it in your hand. If that's possible, like a book or like that, your groceries. There, you take them in your hand and you go. Yani, even without going though, just take it in your hand, then it's yours. Now you can, yani, it was yours by the sale. When you take it in your hand, then you can sell it. If it can be taken by the hand. By relocating it, meaning moving it from the property of the seller or the area of the seller, taking it away from the seller, out of the seller's, let's just say, property to keep it easy. So, like what? This is if you can't take it by hand. If you can't take it hand, then by hand, then by relocating it like a car. You're not just going to take it in your hand. Or a refrigerator. I hope I spelled that right. Or a small boat. Small boat. So take that car, drive it out of the lot of the one who sold it to you, then you can sell it. Get that refrigerator, put it on your thing that has wheels, pull it out of the, for example, out of the parking lot of the place that sold it, or out of the door of the place that sold it if they don't have a parking lot. And then you can sell it. It will be received when you relocate it, or by taking unrestricted control. If it is not movable, not transportable, like a house or a ship, a large boat, or the like, how would unrestricted control be? By emptying it out and giving the new owner the keys. Take all your stuff out. If you want to let the new owner keep the stuff that's in there, then say so. Don't leave it there, still yours. Once you have received what you purchased, then you can sell it. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Allah knows best. Any question?